After 7 years of marriage registration, Charles and I prepared to hold a romantic wedding that we had not been able to have back then. On that day, I put on the wedding dress I designed myself, full of anticipation as I walked towards him. The carefully prepared lines had not yet been spoken when they were interrupted by an accident. Amid the astonishment of the guests, Charles rushed desperately towards the woman who had fainted for the second time at my wedding, his eyes reddening with urgency. "Call an ambulance quickly." Before leaving the auditorium, he did not even look back once. After the auditorium clock struck 7 times, I calmly removed my veil. Smiling at the guests who had not yet left, I said, "As you can see, today is the divorce ceremony between Charles and me. Everyone, eat and drink well, and do not waste this trip." Charles did not even make a phone call to explain. The next day, I saw his post on Facebook. The time was 3 a.m. The accompanying image was a photo of holding hands. "In this life, like a pawn, I have never stopped moving, yet I paused twice for you." Without half a moment's hesitation, I directly liked and commented, "Best wishes." Just as I put down the phone, the ringtone sounded immediately, with the screen displaying husband. I thought he had seen my comment and was calling specifically to explain. But upon answering, it was a coquettish female voice. Accompanied by light coughs, full of fragility, "Sister Anna, cough cough, it's me, Sophie." The last trace of hope in my heart shattered. I suppressed the discomfort in my heart and said coldly, "What is it?" Probably because I was unusually calm and did not question why she was using my husband's phone. The other party was stunned for a few seconds before saying, "Charles went to fetch hot water to wipe my body, and he even forgot to take his phone, so careless." "Sister Anna, yesterday I didn't expect to have an attack, disturbing your wedding with Charles. Don't blame him, okay?" After a bout of breathless utterances, I heard Charles's considerate voice, "Sophie, why did you get up? Lie down quickly, I'll explain to her." "Cough cough, you're always like this, whenever I have a minor issue, you get so nervous you're about to cry. It's not that serious." I had long been accustomed to Sophie's feigned weakness, and I was not curious about what would happen next. But these two insisted on pursuing each other mutually, dragging me down with them. Disgusting words kept emerging endlessly. "I will never let anything happen to you." Charles's tone was full of indulgence, an indulgence that once belonged to me. "All right, I know you're the best to me. Be good, go back and hold the wedding first. That's what Sister Anna has been looking forward to for 7 years. This time, I'll control myself and definitely not go to the scene, okay?" By the end, her tone became choked. Charles felt reluctant and comforted her, "Be good, we won't hold the wedding. We've been husband and wife for so many years, we don't need such illusory things." As I was about to say something, my hand trembled, and the phone nearly slipped from my grasp. Charles, surprisingly, used such a gentle tone to stab my heart ruthlessly. My stomach suddenly churned violently. I suppressed that agitation and smiled calmly, "Since you two have so much to say, I'll not disturb you first. Charles, I don't know where you usually go when you're not at home. I've mailed the divorce agreement to Sophie's house, don't forget to receive and sign it." Before I could hang up, an angry roar came from the other side, "Anna, you keep mentioning divorce every day like a resentful woman, is it fun? Yesterday's incident was sudden, what could I do? Do you want me to watch Sophie die?" I gently tugged at my lip, remaining silent. In the past, he always habitually used cold violence to handle the conflicts among the three of us. It was often me crying and making a fuss, while he quietly smoked one cigarette after another. Today's angry shout seemed to vent his long-accumulated emotions. I was the one stood up, yet he was the one angry? This time even evaluations I had never heard before came out. Resentful woman? He didn't know that only an unhappy marriage turns a woman into a resentful woman. We had known each other for 10 years, registered for 7. I accompanied him from having nothing to the company's listing. After enduring trials and tribulations, this strong rose of mine had long faded. All the past became worthless in the face of these 2 words. "Charles, if you don't sign the divorce agreement, we'll go through legal procedures." I was tired. This time, no matter how unwilling, I decided to cut my losses. Charles detected the fatigue in my tone. After a long silence, his tone softened a bit. Don't you just want to hold the wedding? There are plenty of days ahead. Which day can't we do it? Sophie had a heart attack yesterday. If I hadn't sent her to the hospital in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. What about your Facebook? For whom did you pause? I couldn't help but laugh. That was just a sentiment. Don't make a fuss, okay? How did it become me making a fuss again? Over these years, weren't his cryptic sentiments few? I could usually pretend not to understand. That was because he knew he was married and restrained himself politely. It doesn't mean he can humiliate me twice in the same way at my wedding. Sophie was Charles's junior from the same school. 7 years ago, at that simple yet warm wedding, she had caused the same joke. The groom was about to say I do, but she, as a guest, cried and made a scene below the stage, interrupting the process. Then she had an attack and fell unconscious. Charles had no choice but to rush her to the hospital. He accompanied her for a full 48 hours. The wedding ultimately fizzled out. On that day, his Facebook post was first safe as good, then happily married. Unfortunately, I didn't understand his hint at the time. Considering it wasn't good to make relatives run another trip, we gave up the idea of rescheduling the wedding. Seeing me disappointed at that time, Charles comforted me. Anna, don't be sad. When we have money, we'll hold one every year. I was amused. 7 years later today, I was approaching 30. Thinking of making up for this regret, it wouldn't be in vain for my youth. But he still paused for her. From the other end of the phone came the girl's voice tinged with sobs again. Sister Anna, I've been in poor health since childhood. I really didn't mean to faint at your wedding. Cough cough. The phone was suddenly snatched away, and Charles accused in a deep voice, Enough, Anna. You're occupying the position of wife now. What else are you dissatisfied with? Sophie is already in great pain. Why are you making a fuss with a patient? I curled my lips into a cold smile. Occupying? Sophie's pain is indeed because you're stringing her along, while occupying my position as Mr. Anna, unable to give her a title. As soon as these words were spoken, Charles on the other end was immediately choked. They didn't know that as long as Mrs. Gu no longer needed dignity, everything could be said openly. The proud little white lotus, she didn't want the hat of knowingly being the third party. Sure enough, soon low sobs came from the other end. Charles, ignoring me, comforted softly, Sophie, don't get agitated, I'll make her apologize to you. Then, in an unkind tone, he ordered me, Anna, Sophie's emotions are very unstable now. I want you to come to her within half an hour. Otherwise, when I receive the divorce agreement, I'll sign it immediately. Then your childish tactic of retreating to advance. Before he could finish, I had hung up the phone. Knowing there was no room for maneuver, yet still feeling heartache because of his blatant favoritism. 10 years misplaced, 7-year itch. I hadn't escaped any of them. Charles and I first met at a university social event. He was tall and sunny, exactly fitting my aesthetic. From then on, I was out of control. To pursue him, I even gave up the exchange student quota and stayed in the country to study. Whenever I had time, I crossed cities to their school to create chance encounters. By the 9th time, he was finally moved and reluctantly agreed to try with me. Even the later registration was proposed by me. I didn't think our relationship would seem cheap because the woman pursued the man. He was always a qualified boyfriend and once a dutiful husband. Only that fleeting uncertainty. I thought I had the ability to grasp it. After marriage, we struggled and finally succeeded in starting a business. More and more excellent women around him. I never took it seriously. He went out for social engagements, facing various temptations. I wasn't nervous either. Until Sophie returned to the country. I started to lose confidence. From crying and fussing to calmly observing. I constantly built myself psychologically. As long as he hasn't taken that step, everything is just fantasy. But my bottom line was broken again and again, while his heart became narrower. Narrow enough to only hold things related to Sophie, if Sophie was unhappy, he would cancel international meetings to comfort her. When Sophie moved, he, as a company CEO, did it himself. When Sophie had an attack, he guarded her around the clock. When asked, it was that Sophie was alone in Haicheng, and as her senior, he should take care of her. If I fussed more, it was me being unreasonable and petty. He forgot that I was the wife he should protect. He forgot that our offspring were difficult, needing his cooperation with me to add a little life to this family. In those days, only I guarded that worthless promise, enduring the torment of injections time after time. Now, heaven played a cruel joke on me. I finally got pregnant. But I couldn't keep it. After packing my luggage, I booked a flight out of the country for that day. 10 years ago, my parents and brother had settled abroad for business. Originally, I should have gone with them as an exchange student. But to not miss Charles, I argued fiercely with my family. They weren't even willing to come back for my wedding. In the one 7 years ago, only my grandmother who stayed in the homeland came. And 7 years later, grandmother had long passed away. Fortunately, the old lady didn't have to see another joke of the groom leaving for another woman. Charles didn't know that starting from scratch wasn't so easy. Even less did he know that the wedding gift my grandmother gave me was a large apartment in the city center worth over 10 million from my mother. Narcissistically, I thought that if Charles knew I argued with my well-off family for him, it would make him feel guilty and uneasy. So I preferred to continue being a rural girl unloved by parents in front of him. Without enduring unnecessary hardship, I quietly disposed of the city center house. The money from selling the house cleared the debts his parents owed, allowing him to strike peacefully. The rest gradually compensated for his entrepreneurial losses, giving him countless trial and error costs. Finally, he rose. I willingly accompanied him from living in rental houses to owning our own home, exhausting my youth. Narcissism is truly a disease. If I don't feel sorry for myself, who will? Numbly standing up, I prepared to go to the airport. As soon as I opened the bedroom door, I saw Charles slumped on the sofa with a tired face. Seeing the suitcase beside me, he irritably pinched his brow, playing the running away from home trick again? Why didn't you answer my calls? I glanced at my watch and calmly replied, "What do you want with me?" I had never spoken to him so politely and courteously. He was stunned. "Anna, what exactly do you want? Just say it, okay? I just left because of an emergency. Why did you tell the relatives it's a divorce ceremony? You make me really suffocated like this. I've explained countless times, Sophie and I are just senior-junior relations. When I faced difficulties in starting the business back then, she gave me countless comforts and encouragements. That's why I had the motivation to persevere. Now that I'm successful, what's wrong with taking a bit more care of her? You insist on being stubborn, making yourself unhappy. What can I do? Persevering, so it only needed comfort and encouragement? My money was spent in vain after all. I quietly listened to him finish, nodded, I know. You know? If you know, why did you stimulate Sophie? Because of your words, she's been depressed and secretly crying. The one who tied the bell must untie it. If you don't go to the hospital immediately to apologize to her, this matter isn't over. The tone in which he said this was commanding. As a CEO, he had long been accustomed to putting on airs in front of me. My eyes were sore, and I stood there stunned for a long time. Until the man stood up and walked in front of me, I looked up at him. His tall, pine-like figure no longer sheltered me from wind and rain. He impatiently urged, "You go to the hospital first, there's still 1 hour before Sophie's rest time. I'll take a shower and go to the hospital tonight to accompany her. There's a dessert shop opposite the hospital, bring her a matcha raw chocolate. If she eats it and feels better, she won't hold it against you." After he finished, I unhurriedly lowered my head and hummed in agreement. Wanting to refute a couple of sentences, but suppressed by the desolation in my heart. Together for so many years, he could remember others' favorite foods, yet was blank when facing me. The cheesecake I ate many times, he said he had no impression. The floral skirt I wore many times, he didn't even remember it was the first gift he gave me. I showed him countless design drafts. When the wedding dress was finished, he only said to learn more from others. When I left him, I could find countless excuses for myself, thinking he was just too busy to attend to small affections. But now, I could no longer convince myself. It wasn't that he couldn't spare the thought, it was just not worth using it on me. Charles thought he and Sophie were innocent and never yielded to me. This time, seeing me overly calm, his tone eased, leaving suddenly. Yesterday was my fault, I'll explain to all relatives and friends later. Since you want a wedding so much, I won't refuse to cooperate. You cooperate? In the past, I might have argued with him, that's what you owe me, that's the wedding of the century you promised. But now, I couldn't be bothered. I directly passed by him and walked towards the door. Anna, you're just too idle as a housewife, finding suffering for yourself. I warn you, correct your attitude, it's good for us all. You'd better not cause any trouble. Seeing me ignore him, Charles finally dropped his calm facade and hurled irrelevant threats at my back. To this, my heart was still as water, too lazy to respond, just wanting to handle the last thing before leaving the country as soon as possible. The same hospital as Sophie. I scheduled an abortion surgery. In those years, to consider his feelings, I took contraceptives during intimacy, leaving me with health issues. When we prepared for a child, it turned out Charles had fertility issues. I originally thought of leaving with this fetus, it wasn't unaffordable. But now, the thought of having this blood tie with Charles for life made me nauseous and wretched. The moment I walked into the hospital, my heart was like iron. But when the surgery ended and I was informed I had completely lost that little life, tears still uncontrollably welled up. After 2 hours of observation in the hospital, assessed by the doctor, I could be discharged. I got up to leave. On the hospital pathway, I saw Sophie coquettishly shaking Charles's arm. When our eyes met, Charles was facing away from me. Sophie not only had no shame but deliberately pressed her body closer to Charles, her chest subtly rubbing against him. Charles, thank you for always accompanying me, she said coquettishly, loud enough for me to hear clearly. That despicable look, if seen by the old me, would have made me rush up and slap her. But now, I didn't have that energy. It was getting late, this was the shortest way out of the hospital. I didn't detour to avoid them, just walked past them calmly, movements natural like strangers brushing shoulders. From the corner of my eye, I saw Charles stunned, wanting to chase. But Sophie held him tightly, unable to move half a step. Anna? Is it you? He still recognized me. But I had no intention of acknowledging him. The man got angry, chased up, and grabbed my arm. When his gaze fell on my pale face, the accusation softened. Did you buy the things I told you to get for Sophie? I've already taught you how to apologize to her, why can't you make me worry less? I lifted my lip. You told me to come to the hospital, haven't I come? You. I see your Sophie is so happy, doesn't look like she's dying. Giving her matcha raw chocolate, might as well give her you? You're simply unreasonable. The man roared angrily, pushing hard. I fell backward unprepared. My palm instinctively supported on the ground, the rough surface scraping my skin. The surrounding air froze for a few seconds. I finally slowly stood up, calmly patted the dust off my body. I can't beat you. A wise man doesn't suffer immediate loss. Charles, remember to sign the divorce agreement. Seemingly enraged by my words, fury burned wildly in Charles's eyes. You jealous woman, look at yourself now, what do you look like? I finally couldn't hold back and roared, what do I look like now? Charles, I wasn't born to be a resentful woman staying at home to serve you. To this day, all the award-winning designs on the company's honor wall are from my hands. I willingly stood behind you, not for you to take it for granted and look down on me. No one likes washing clothes and cooking at home, being complained about for not creating value, nor does anyone like arguing with you repeatedly over a green tea, that kind of life. Go to hell. My voice grew louder until finally calming down. Like a roller coaster, thrilling and exciting. But when it stopped, there was a sense of loss. Charles was silent. A flash of guilt quickly passed in his eyes, soon returning to indifference. If you could be more sensible, it wouldn't have come to this. I scoffed. Slap, after slapping with all my strength, I even felt the wound bleeding again due to my agitation. Which time he used cold violence on me wasn't me initiating conversation? Was it because this was as normal as air that he thought he was the one setting the rules? Amid the scumbag and bitch gnashing their teeth, I left the hospital with a cold face. Planning to rest at home for 2 days, recover, then go abroad. As soon as I lay down, I received a call from my best friend. Are you okay? You didn't answer my calls, and I couldn't find you at home. Due to weather, flights from Canada to domestic were suspended. She missed my wedding. After hearing my explanation, her voice choked. That pair of scumbag and bitch better lock themselves tightly for me. Don't come out to disgust people anymore, actually bullying my Anna like this. I paused, then said, the villa you held for me before, put it up for sale. I probably won't be in the country anymore. Lucy is my childhood friend. Before her economic independence, due to family business inheritance disputes, her finances were once blocked. I diverted part of the money from selling my house to support her startup. It wasn't considered investment. But after her success, she still bought a riverside villa for me. Just held it in her name. The reason was not wanting this villa to be split half with Charles. At that time, I laughed at her for overthinking. Unexpectedly, only 3 years passed, and we've reached the point of dividing property. Lucy on the other end said, since not in the country, then sell it. Anna, I'll definitely find you the best divorce lawyer. I naturally trusted her handling. But when one's unlucky, troubles come one after another. The next day, Lucy, going to handle the villa, told me that the vacant villa was already occupied. I thought she hadn't returned for too long and got the place wrong. Until Lucy video called me. The door plate was correct. The surrounding environment matched too. She askedly, Anna, tell the truth, I won't be angry. Did you tell that scumbag about this villa's existence? I firmly said, no. At that time, Lucy insisted on giving me this villa, still guarding against Charles's type. I feared he'd feel uncomfortable, naturally wouldn't tell him. But in Lucy's video, the vacant house was indeed properly decorated, full of life. My house, besides Charles's husband, who else could openly move in? Seeing me dazed, my best friend said, the door lock was changed, I had someone pry it open. Probably just moved in recently, no one home now, do you want to come see? Though my body was tired, I wanted to know what happened, so I took a cab over. Upon entering, unexpectedly, the first sight was Sophie. She was full of anger. Sister Anna, was it you who had someone pry open my house door? My first reaction was to look for Lucy. Where's Lucy? You mean that woman trespassing? I had someone tie her up and send to the police station, so Sister Anna, you're the mastermind? I wanted to call Lucy, but Sophie snatched my phone, threw it on the ground, and stomped hard several times. Anna, you old woman, really think you're something? If you don't apologize to me today, I guarantee you won't see Charles for the next 10 days. I frowned, calmly analyzing the current situation. Sophie herself trespassed, yet sent Lucy the owner to the police station? What bullshit event is this? After returning, she clearly rented in the expensive neighborhood near Charles's company. I only discovered Charles supporting her recently when checking accounts. The amount to recover was already listed in the divorce agreement. But I never thought she'd appear here. Lucy said it was recently occupied, meaning Charles had long planned to give her a home. Did he have to disgust me this way? Suddenly dizzy overhead. Without nonsense, I directly asked, who let you move into this villa? This is my home, what's the problem with me moving in? Your home? Didn't you return because your family couldn't support staying abroad? I haven't seen you work, can you afford a villa in this location? At this point, no point pretending. She thought I'd use marital property to pressure her, unhurriedly arguing, as Charles's wife, being so narrow-minded will make Charles unhappy. Today he was reluctant to leave me, but wasn't it my generosity that persuaded him to go back with you? Tisk, if you learned a bit from me, you wouldn't have been stood up at the wedding twice. I just hope to live comfortably and decently, can't you turn a blind eye? Must you make it lose both people and wealth? This villa is better than the one Charles and I live in now. Of course she's decent. Sophie, occupying Charles's favoritism, boldly declared sovereignty. Lose both people and wealth? Not necessarily. No need to explain, I calmly said, this isn't your house, please move out immediately now. As soon as the words fell, Sophie chuckled, Anna, you're really impervious. Don't talk marital property with me, since Charles arranged for me to live in, this villa has nothing to do with you. I tugged my lip, call Charles, have him come over. Just as the words fell, Sophie's phone rang. She smugly waved it in front of me, no need to call him, between us, it's always him calling me. I ignored her, bent down to pick up my phone. Lucy had messaged me she's safe, explained the reason, now bringing people over. I replied one word, good. When exiting chat, accidentally clicked the pinned contact. Opened the chat with Charles. My finger paused. Couldn't help scrolling up. Only then discovered the chat records were almost all my long essays. His replies always short and cold, few words. I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. So Sophie's words that it's always him initiating between them actually secretly broke my defense. Soon, Charles hurried over. Just hearing Sophie's Charles, someone broke into home, I'm so scared. He sped from home here, faster than Lucy who was closer. In the past, even if I broke my leg at home, he just had the assistant come back to take me to hospital. His precious time was indeed only spent on people he cared about. When speechless to the extreme, one really laughs. Sophie, you just discharged, go upstairs and rest well quickly, I'll handle it. Charles didn't see me sitting on the sofa. Upon seeing Sophie, he embraced her shoulder, gently pushing her upstairs. Familiar with the way. Comes often, huh? The funny thing is, divorcing, I even mailed the divorce agreement to the wrong place. Sophie hadn't gone up yet, Charles's eyes looked for surveillance. Probably already violently destroyed by Lucy. He impatiently growled, who is so bold? I hadn't spoken, Sophie already put on a weak posture. Charles, as soon as I came back, I found Sister Anna had people pry open the home door. Upon hearing my name, Charles also noticed me aside. Eyes first flashed astonishment, then replaced by sarcasm. Anna, what do you mean? What do you think? I countered. Charles slightly frowned. Seemed unable to think of words. Sophie beside quickly held his arm, acting, Sister Anna, don't be angry at Charles, if you're unhappy, I'll move out, cough cough. She who was arrogant just now could cough blood any time. Charles immediately ached. Finally showed cards to me, I renovated the house and let Sophie move in. Any issue, come at me. I didn't speak, just stared deadly at that man. What he said, is that human speech? Lucy bought the house with money. Said to give me, after all not transferred. How dare he be so righteous? Anna, don't think I don't know this house is yours? You had Lucy hold it for you, in the end, aren't you guarding against me? Since this is marital property, half is mine. Half? As long as I don't accept Lucy's favor, this house has nothing to do with me. Can't figure which link went wrong. Perhaps Charles's brain is waterlogged? Seeing no reaction, Charles darkened his face, you leave here quickly, any issue, we'll talk back home. As his words fell, my phone rang. I answered with one key, said only, just inside, come in. Charles's turning motion paused. Anna, what trick are you playing again? I didn't speak. Silence was better than words now. Less than 10 seconds. A dozen strong men rushed in from outside. Lucy's face dark as ink, smash for me. In the chaos, Charles subconsciously blocked in front of Sophie. Yelling at me his wife, Anna, what are you doing? Lucy came over, directly threw the red book at Charles. Charles, you fucking sick? Take this green tea and get out of my house. Sophie's face changed greatly. Moving in, she naturally thought Charles arranged everything. How could she know the property deed spread on the ground clearly wrote Lucy's name? Charles domineeringly grabbed my arm. Anna, don't think I don't know you invested money in Lucy. This house is her dividend to you, our marital property. You think I didn't expose you, so you can do as you please? My heart chilled. Lucy had told me when coming. Charles knowing about this house should be her fired assistant holding grudge, deliberately leaking to him. But knowing, so what? Not important anymore. I ignored him, turned to the legal brought by Lucy. Lawyer, here's a law illiterate, handle it for you. Charles's face ugly. Anna, I haven't settled with you yet, and you're getting cocky? All Riverside villas in Haicheng have owners, only this one left. Doctor said good environment, beneficial for Sophie's recovery. Can't you be less petty? Sophie beside, eyes red, clutching Charles's sleeve timidly. Charles, blame my useless body, causing you conflict with Sister Anna. This has nothing to do with you. Charles comforted softly. Anna secretly bought property behind my back as husband. I originally didn't want to pursue, since must tear face, no need to indulge her anymore. You stay peacefully, leave the rest to me. Big words just out, lawyer chimed in. Mr. Charles, you have no right to dispose of Miss Lucy's property privately. Charles cold-faced. Sophie, you go up first. How could Lucy let her go up? Rushed forward, grabbed Sophie's hair. Slap slap 2 slaps, this is for knowingly being third, ode to Anna. Then slap slap 2 more, this is for having people tie me to police station just now. Wanted more, Charles already strode over, pushed Lucy away. Though promised me not to babble much with Charles. Lucy still couldn't help mocking. Charles, do you know what marital property is? Go ask on the street, which man openly uses marital property to support another woman and claims innocence? You're more disgusting than those who openly admit cheating. A few words made Charles's anger surge instantly. Sophie's health is poor, I'm just caring within my ability. Lucy, you're an outsider, don't know the inside, please shut up. Charles was like that. Clearly favoritism so obvious, yet thought himself upright. Lucy looked at him with a fucked a dog expression. Couldn't say a word. Air froze for a moment. I coldly said, Lucy, since smash thoroughly, on me. Those strong men seemed professional. Upon order, smashed more vigorously. Charles hurriedly shouted, Anna, that's enough. Seeing I didn't buy it, preparing to leave, he finally retreated a step. Tone from threat to negotiation. I know deciding without discussing with you was my fault. Tomorrow I'll arrange another place for Sophie, have these people leave first. I shook off Charles's hand. Lucy, call the police. Said, I lifted foot to leave. First time seeing my attitude like this. Charles stunned in place for several seconds. Anna, wait a moment. He chased up, one hand grabbing me, one taking phone to call assistant, instruct him come help move. Then said to me, we'll go back together. My body weak, couldn't break free. Lucy seeing, immediately ran over, fiercely pushed Charles away. The man focused on me, didn't expect Lucy so fierce. Stumbled heavily onto vase shards. Palm instantly cut a big gash. Blood gushing. Lucy scoffed, serves you right. Charles, are you okay? Sophie ran over, face anxious. But the man looked at me. As if seeking pity in my eyes. But I only had sarcasm. Sophie moving, don't you have to do it yourself? Charles, leaving me for others isn't once or twice. Don't put on this despicable look, thinking leaving others to go with me can make up. I didn't mean that. Charles suddenly at a loss for words. Not finding the expression he wanted on my face. He subconsciously looked at his palm. When looking at me again, eyes nearly pleading. As if asking, I'm injured, why are you unmoved? Yes. In the past, I'd probably cry nervously. After breaking with parents, he had become my only sense of security. I wouldn't let my sense of security crack a bit. Rather all the world's storms bypass him and come at me. But now, I calmly stood aside, even feeling a touch of bright red suited him. Whatever you mean, I'm not interested. Sign the divorce agreement sooner, save delaying giving another woman a home. Said, I disdainfully glanced at Sophie. Lifted foot to leave. Leave garbage to the recycling station. Anna, I won't divorce you, don't think you can decide unilaterally. The man behind hoarsely growled. Each word like torn from soul depths. With blood and shattered love. In movies, perhaps beautiful regret. But reality, just funny. Lucy knew I didn't want to argue with him, stayed to clear. Gave me breathing space. Back home, I reprinted an agreement, attached a gift, placed in study. Dragged luggage away. Goodbye, my 10 years. The farce didn't end with my leaving. Charles's marital affair hung on hot search top for days, stirring the city. When Charles and I started business, industry jokingly called us business's condor heroes. We were plain like passers-by then. Charles would tie my shoelaces in front of everyone. So when Lucy posted videos of Charles' twice weddings, twice abandoning me online, netizens overwhelmingly denounced that scumbag T-pair. Some Goo company employees took opportunity to expose big info. When wall falls, everyone pushes. Sophie's past heart disease, true or false unknown, now definitely true. Social platforms long fallen. Seeing done deal, she even publicly called Charles to marry her online. But the man just hid like a turtle. Lucy kept pressuring, plus Goo company's CEO various scandals, investors withdrew successively. Stock price fell like free fall. Company inside exploded, everyone in danger. These years for long-term, company had transformation plans, highly reliant on investors' funds. But investors preferred breach to collectively withdraw, making company's capital chain near breaking. This was news I learned after 2 months recuperating abroad. I knew Goo company's value clearly. Those investors actually held great confidence. Thought Lucy making them withdraw would be refused. But Lucy went crazy. Whatever. Unrelated to me now. Lucy told me, that day Charles' home, saw ultrasound and abortion sheets clipped in divorce agreement, crazily searched for me. Searched all related to me, but only got roasted. Everyone cursed him brain-pitted, missing one who truly loved him. But he still persisted. Went to my deceased grandmother's home. Married years, he never proposed accompanying me home. Then I secretly rejoiced, so no need explain much family to him. Now think, is this really normal? To me, he always looked down, right? An unloved rural girl, naturally undeserving of love here. After much inquiry, he learned my parents' siblings all abroad doing business, not returning yearly. Reason indifferent to me, because I defied them many times for Charles, chilling their hearts. Actually, after marriage parents' temper long softened. I several times wanted to take Charles abroad to meet them. Charles always mocked, your parents didn't even come to our wedding, why meet them? Where's the time? Finally company free, Sophie had issue again. Dragged on. Parents just wanted Charles's attitude, but until my divorce, didn't get it. Charles to find me, in 2 months returned company few times. Bored furious. Divorce agreement, he delayed signing. Perhaps thought, as long as no divorce, I'd definitely return. I also knew, couples like us from co-starting to man outside woman inside, dividing property in divorce not easy, neither thinks they should take less. Charles, perhaps just no boundaries. But I couldn't be bothered to wait for solid cheating evidence to entangle, thus no way to make him take less. So, I filed for divorce litigation. The man twisted ways to message me. Said need me present personally, otherwise he absolutely won't cooperate. Unwilling for prolonged war, I still went back. On court day, I saw the usually neat man with drooping hair, eyes full of red bloodshots. Seeing me, he rushed over. Wanted to touch, but cautiously retracted hand. Long time, voice choked, did it hurt? That day, I saw you at hospital that day. I looked at him like a fool. A bit, hurt for a while, then refreshed. Like this marriage mixed with a sand grain, grinding life painful. I tried too many times to remove the sand, unsuccessful. So I chose once and for all, threw away the marriage. Charles, isn't this what you wanted too? The man, after hearing, stiffly tugged lip. Long time, opened mouth again, you've lost weight. I paused slightly. So, the man I once thought separating would kill me, now standing before me saying caring words, my heart can be without ripples. No love, no hate. Only calm. I smiled, told him, not thinner, gained 2 pounds. He looked at my smile, stunned a while. Seemed finally realized, I really don't love him anymore. Voice suddenly choked. I thought the person least likely to leave me in this world is you, so took for granted ignoring your feelings. Knowing you aborted our hard-won child, really hated. But thinking you like children more than anyone, thinking the efforts you made to conceive, I dare not blame you, I have no right to blame you. I know you're still angry at me, this time I've received due punishment, since you're back don't leave, okay? I only replied simplest way, court starting, go in. Words fell, lifted foot into court. But waited long to find, Charles escaped. Guessed he wouldn't cooperate, didn't think so doggy. Delegated all to lawyer, I left country that day. I tried taking over family business, due to past polishing, quickly got hang. Heard Charles's company survived. I was relieved, then I can divide a bit more property. In fulfilling busy life, often saw jokes from him. He knew contacting me hard, every interview, always shouted to me on camera, Anna, as long as you return, I'm always here. Anna, I've been trying hard to approach you, beg you to look at me again. Anna, world so big, how can't find you? See this video, contact me okay? His affectionate confessions and Sophie's this mistress's downfall, gradually seemed to whitewash him. Court even thought our marriage not emotionally broken. Then drag on. Now things related to Charles, not worth me frowning. A year passed, long enough I forgot I'm still married. Lawyer finally told me, court granted divorce. I had no special feeling, just paid lawyer hardship fee. Formally restored my golden single. Seeing Charles again, was when I returned for Alma Mater's centennial. When I spoke on stage, Charles sat first row far right. Focused gaze like strong spotlight. Directly projecting on me. Hard not to notice him. But his appearance aged, so I once thought some senior alumnus. When saying I don't regret not being exchange student abroad then, Charles's empty eyes suddenly had light. Seemed expecting me to say something. I just continued speech, these years abroad, I experienced different artistic charms and education systems, often feeling an indescribable estrangement. Culture has no right or wrong, I just feel that me back then had a more suitable path, so didn't choose abroad. The university I tested into, cry also must finish. Here, audience burst laughing. I continued, finally, senior sister gives you one sentence, when wandering at choice crossroads, listen to your heart's true voice. Applause rose, I ended speech. In corridor, Charles rushed out blocking me. Tone firm and persistent, you lied, you clearly gave up exchange for me. I looked at him, not perfunctory, at first I thought so, later discovered, actually I just disliked parents controlling life, you were just wrapped in my rebellion, became my excuse. I don't believe. Charles shook head desperately, I don't believe if no one in country you miss, you'd return just for a bullshit speech? Whether you believe relates to me how? Mr. Charles, I don't want to call security, please behave. No, don't call me Mr. Charles. Charles' face hurt. You know? When I found out the one silently solving my company's fund issues back then was you, my heart like torn a gash. Thinking you gave up even parents for me, alone following me, yet I diverted heart to care other woman, I feel I'm not human. If not swallowing antidepressants, waiting to see you again, I'd long couldn't hold now. Forcibly forcing myself to endure, because I can't bear seeing our co-founded company collapse, that's our child. We can't lose another child. Anna, divorced no matter, I can chase you from start, like you chased me back then. Charles saying, took out diamond ring from pocket. Anna, the proposal I owe you, now make up. Marry me. Looking at this laughable affection, I shook head, you still don't understand. I chose you due to rebellion, then because cost too big wanted to hold tight, finally found it empty, resolutely let go. This whole process, with purpose, with unwillingness, only no love. Because no love, so now looking at you, no different from stranger, understand? These words true false, long unimportant. But that man suddenly grabbed his hair with both hands, face grief. Then crazily banged wall. Mouth shouting sentence after sentence, impossible, you love me. You said all your designs contain love for me. Commotion too big, attracted others' attention. Soon someone came to hold him. I ignored, strode away. Heard that day, Charles banged his head bad. From then could only spend in mental hospital. And my brilliant life, just beginning.